All right, it looks like our numbers are stabilizing here, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. Welcome again, everyone, to our Copilot Newsroom for July 2025. Today, we'll be covering some of the latest updates that have taken place with Copilot in this past month or two, going into some of the updates from June as well. Really, today's session is to delve into some of the strategies for maximizing your return in investment with Copilot within your organization. Throughout the session, we'll be going through some of the user updates as well as admin updates, and we'll be having time for any questions. So feel free to ask them either in the chat or towards the end of the session. We really encourage you to actively participate, and we can walk through this all together. So for those of you who will be joining late, we will be recording the session and we'll be posting it again later on to the YouTube channel. Also, please feel free to let us know if you need a copy of the presentation. We will go ahead and share it with you. We also have some links that will be surfaced throughout this, so we can go ahead and share that as well via email. So yeah, without further ado, in the past month, Microsoft has released quite a number of updates. Some of them might be my favorite updates so far, so we're really excited to showcase them for you in just a few moments. And to get started, we'll go ahead and introduce our presenters for today. My name is Sharon Abraham, and I am a Microsoft 365 consultant with Valorem Modern Work Reply, and I'm here to help walk through some of the session with you. So I'll pass it on to my colleague, Will, who will introduce himself.
Hey everyone, I'm Will. I'm a senior Microsoft consultant, also with Reply, based in Chicago, and yeah, excited to talk about Copilot updates with you all today.
All right, so before we dive into some of the fun Copilot content, most of you in this call might already know who we are. We are Valorem Modern Work, and our world really revolves around the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So we have a large chain of our community of change management practitioners using some of the ProSci methodology to drive digital transformation within the organization. We're also a Microsoft proud solutions partner, and so we really love all things Microsoft. And here today, we're especially interested in looking into Copilot and how we can help you alongside your Copilot journey, just really making sure that we can maximize that return on investment that you have. So we look forward to learning more about your organization. If there are any questions that you have regarding any of the knowledge related to Copilot, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to share any resources or details and assist you in any of your needs. So looking here today for today's session, we have our agenda. I'll be going through end user capabilities, walking through some of the updates, as well as we'll be going through the Copilot agent updates shortly, as well as admin and management capabilities. We'll round it out with a Copilot roadmap as well, and then we'll have time for any questions at the end of this presentation. So starting off with the end user capabilities and some changes that have happened either this month and a few from last month. So starting off with the intelligence assistance with context IQ and Copilot chat. That is a lot of words, but essentially that really means context IQ is your AI now coming with real-time context awareness. And that essentially means that you no longer need to wait to completely enter your prompt, but Copilot looks at what you're working on, what you've been working with, the surroundings and your context, and goes ahead and starts generating some ideas and figuring out the overall context of what you're working with. It'll go ahead and surface those documents, presentations, etc., within your chat as well. With that, there's also a new dynamic menu for your data sources where you can go ahead and search and attach the most relevant meetings, files, etc. directly into your prompt without having to upload them. So this context IQ really makes sure that Copilot answers aren't really generic, rather they're tailored to exactly what you're working on. That can be as recent as a document you've been working on this morning or a presentation you had the day before. Copilot with the context IQ will go ahead and generate that and have it all in the space for you to work on and use as you're prompting it, allowing you to get those tailored results. Now, this is not only for just Microsoft data, but for organizations that have those graph connectors set up. It can also go ahead and integrate this with external data sources. So think about pulling any of the data that you use with your everyday external sources. You can do that all and synthesize that information all without leaving your chat. So the bottom line here for Context IQ is that it makes Copilot much smarter about the work that you do so that you can get better answers without having to hunt them down or look for the right information before filling things out. Now here as well with Context IQ, you can now find files in your Copilot chat. You don't need to upload them. Rather, you can just type a / in your Copilot chat and easily find the files that you're looking for. So users are able to find the files that they already have access to within this space, allowing for greater productivity and collaboration and a lot of time saved as you don't need to go digging for any of those files. So I know that typically when you search for files, it takes quite a bit of time to get there, but with this, it really streamlines the overall process. This is also applicable for the OneDrive integration. Users can also upload those files directly or search OneDrive from using Context IQ. So this will be rolling out this month, and it's a great feature to keep your eyes out for and to try testing out. Additionally, here with SharePoint sites and the OneDrive folders as well, users can also go ahead and reference those folders directly within your prompts in your Copilot chat work mode, allowing you to go ahead and access that shared content and make sure that Copilot has the access to some of the things that you are working on, allowing it to generate meaningful responses even pertaining to those areas. Now, this might be one of my favorite updates here as well. So this improvement to Context IQ allows you to get new suggestions for work as you type. So the moment you start typing inside of your Copilot chat, Copilot doesn't wait for you to finish, but rather it starts acting as your assistant in giving you information and actively suggesting things that you might want to include as part of your prompt to make it more complete and accurate. So this could be as easy as some of the recent files you've been working on. It can also be your upcoming or past meetings or some of your collaborating, the people that you collaborate with, and that will help give it context to go ahead and find what you're working on and how it can best benefit to you. So you don't have to remember every tiny detail yourself. Copilot will do that hard job for you and will guide you towards the most relevant context to make sure that your prompts are strong enough to find all the information that you need. It's accurate and allows you to just have a greater productivity. Now here we have the meeting series selection and enhanced file search in Context IQ. A lot of great Context IQ updates. We'll split it out into two. So starting here on the left-hand side, we have our meeting series selection in the Context IQ menu. What this essentially means is that Copilot now is able to go ahead and ground itself, not just in one meeting, but rather a whole series or selection of meetings. What this means is that Copilot can ground itself in your weekly update meetings or a project stand-up, for example, and get the data and get the information it needs to understand the context of what you're working in from one meeting to the other. So this allows greater continuity. It understands the whole background of what you're working in, not just pertaining to one singular session. With this knowledge, Copilot's able to go ahead and give you greater information, greater insights, and really help boost your productivity in these sessions. And now second, we have the enhanced file search with your filters and refiners. So we've all used search again and spent a lot of time looking through results, but with Context IQ, you can filter by your file type. So you're looking for a Word file, or you're looking for a file that you collaborated with people or a colleague of yours. You don't remember who worked on it, but you might remember the file type. You can go ahead and use those filters to be able to find that within a few seconds. So both of these have rolled out in June, so you should be able to test these out and try them out. Again, these really make it easy to ground Copilot with the most relevant information quickly, making things faster in the process for you and giving you more accurate answers in your workday. All right, so now looking at the new functionality for Copilot in Edge. Starting this month, Microsoft Edge users can directly interact with Microsoft 365 Copilot directly from your browser address. Essentially, this means that you don't need to toggle through different work tabs and go through different information. Instead, you can go ahead and use your natural language queries to ask Copilot questions, and it can generate those AI-driven answers instantly without you needing to toggle through different work tabs or sift through a bunch of search results. One of the key features here is that having Copilot in Edge brings all of your information into one safe space. Additionally, it allows you to go ahead and complete your task faster. You're able to get those comprehensive answers directly without having to sift through information. It also leads to a greater streamlined workflow, so you don't need to switch through work tabs. You can focus on one thing at a time in one area, and enhance productivity overall, as you can use it to go ahead and generate quick summaries, especially for research. You can go ahead and synthesize all that information in one neat space. Now, for those of you on this call who are really interested in agents, the good news here is that this has been rolled out in the past month, but you can go ahead and directly access your agents within Edge. So Microsoft Edge now integrates Copilot agents to assist your users, or you as the end user, directly within the browser to help enhance that productivity. So we know that agents really are able to help streamline your everyday work process. They help you with different research. They can help you synthesize information, retrieve information, and create and generate things as well. Now, with your agents being directly accessible in Edge, this allows you to go ahead and further streamline your process of getting things done, allowing you to save time with your digital smart assistant and allowing you to reduce the manual effort on your end. Another neat feature in the Edge context menu for all of our Edge users is the quick summarization feature. I personally also really like this one. So if you are looking at researching something or reading through documentation, you can now go ahead and click into your quick summarization feature, as you can see in this image on the right. You can go ahead and summarize your information directly from the Edge context menu, and overall allowing you to read through information that is synthesized. You do not need to go through large articles to find what you are looking for right away. So you can go ahead and summarize that information and save time and use it where you would need to use it otherwise. So this specifically works in streamlining your research, allowing you to look at key points and essential information, helping you to condense information so you can use it effectively. Looking now, switching tabs over into Outlook for a little bit. There are new enhancements to Copilot in Outlook. Specifically, this one pertains to scheduling meetings over your Copilot chat. So we know that Copilot uses your natural language, which makes it really great and user-friendly for everyone involved. And so Copilot uses that natural language to understand those user requests, and it allows you to schedule your meetings with great ease. And what you can do in this case is ask Copilot a question on scheduling a meeting. It will return back with the people that you are looking at scheduling a meeting with different timings. And it will help find those suitable meeting times based off of availability and help you create agendas, meeting invites, and a lot more with some of these new updates. So it can also keep that context over multiple exchanges without losing that information. So it allows you to go ahead and find a natural rhythm for your scheduling, for your updates, and keeping things all in one place. So with this, there are a few more updates within our Outlook and planning. So here there are some enhancements to Copilot in your classic Outlook. For those who prefer using classic Outlook, there is a new sidebar experience that will be rolling out this month in Copilot for your Copilot chat. So it enables you to go ahead and chat with your Copilot alongside the work that you are doing. So if that is you're reading an email or you're writing an email in Outlook, you can go ahead and integrate your assistant to go ahead and look at some of that information and get some ideas off of that. So it helps get that off of the context that you are currently focusing on. So if that's reading an email or writing an email, you can chat with Copilot as you are doing it in that context. Additionally, a great feature is the summarization feature that it has of PDF files, Word files, PowerPoint email attachments. You can go ahead and use this to sift through some of that information, and it'll be able to summarize it for you, allowing you to spend less time figuring out the context of an email and be able to respond to things in a much quicker fashion. Additionally, here now you have a new or a feature called Select Schedule with Copilot. So this is rolling out this month, and it allows your meeting organizers to streamline scheduling directly from an email thread. This is a really neat feature, as essentially now with Schedule with Copilot, it allows you to go ahead and Copilot will analyze the email content for you. It will suggest a meeting title and an agenda, and it will go ahead back and attach that email thread to the invite, allowing for greater context for those you are sending it across to. And it will automatically include your email invite participants as your attendees. So it does all of the hard work for you, and you will be able to go ahead and just review it later on. You can go ahead and edit or add details as you see fit before adding or before sending out the invite. So this is a neat feature that allows you to use the context you already have, use the information that you have on hand, and schedule things as you see fit. Now looking at a new feature, and this is a really great feature for this month. So Copilot Memory. So now Copilot has Copilot Memory that will capture and remember some of those key facts about you as an individual user, really allowing you to tailor your responses to your needs, your preferences, your working style, and your communication style as well. So with this, the way that it works is that you can set up some custom instructions, allowing you to decide on what tone you like, the formatting that you would like Copilot to generate back to you. And Copilot will save this in its memory and apply it in your future interactions. If you like talking or conversing with Copilot in a certain way, this is really great as it allows you to not have to go back in and give repetitive reminders of the natural style that you'd like to work with or the type of work you're looking for. With this new memory capability, Copilot will really help streamline your interaction with it and will help accelerate that task completion. Now, you still are in control of everything, so you do have the ability to go ahead and edit, view, delete some of those memories if you choose, so you can still remain in control of the way that you like to work within the space. Now, for the settings and controls that it is set up in, the memory is automatically enabled by default. This is due to having tenant level controls with IT admins. And so they would be managing those settings across the organization. So this would be an org-wide or a tenant level control. Now, another neat feature here is the availability of Copilot Notebooks in OneNote. So Copilot Notebooks is really an AI-powered workspace that allows you to consolidate all of your information into one environment. So you can go ahead and generate your content, keep all of your information in one space, add your Word documents, your PowerPoint decks, Excel spreadsheets, your Copilot chats, any pages that you have, meeting notes, all of this in one space, and Copilot is able to ground itself in that and generate responses, summaries, and any drafts based off of that information. So users can go ahead and access Copilot Notebook inside OneNote, and it'll pull together all of that information that we looked at earlier. Even if you have links to external recordings, I will be able to go ahead and use all of that and give you any actionable insights based off of the information that you are presenting. The really neat functionality with Copilot Notebook is that it does go ahead and keep those real-time updates. So if you are going ahead and updating things within your notebook, Copilot will register that and give you renewed insights for that as well. Another feature is that the Copilot Notebook can also create an audio overview, which is kind of like an audio voiceover to help create some of that audio visual element to your workspace as well. So it's a really neat feature, and you can go ahead and test it out and see how it works for your needs. Now here we have Copilot in PowerPoint, and this is again a great feature, especially for a lot of people who work with decks or like creating presentation decks, etc. You can now go ahead and seamlessly add your brand approved images without having to manually upload them every time. How this works is by Copilot pulling your images in directly from your SharePoint organizational asset library, allowing you to go ahead and templify, and allowing you to go ahead and keep things all in one space and not having to manually upload them every time you'd wish to use an asset. For greater transparency, your speaker notes will also go ahead and include the source of the image, allowing for greater transparency across the board. This is a neat feature as it really helps save time and just the time that would be spent on a deck creation otherwise. So really great for just every user, but especially even those who are in marketing or working on creating decks and pitches a lot. So you can learn more about connecting your SharePoint organization asset library to your Copilot through a couple links. Feel free to ask us if you need any more information on that. We'll be happy to share. And I saved my personal favorite for the very end, but Microsoft 365 Copilot app is now available for Mac OS, which means that we're keeping all the fun and sharing it with our Mac users as well, allowing you to go ahead and weave your AI directly into your flow to make sure that you're able to utilize it in your day-to-day environment. So you can launch, this has been launched in the English markets as of June. It will be rolling out soon to other markets depending on where it is. And so you're able to launch with Mac OS, you're able to launch the Microsoft 365 Copilot app directly from your dock, and you're able to very similarly store memory, create, use some of those tools, work with your agents, all with your native Mac feel. So really great update for those of you who are Mac users and like that native Mac feel as well. But that brings it to the end of my end user updates for this session. Again, we'll have time for any questions at the end, but for now, I'm going to pass it on to Will for admin and management capabilities.
Perfect. Thanks, Sharon. So yeah, as she mentioned, thanks again for walking us through the end user updates. I will be now taking us through the admin and management capabilities. So a big theme for this month is going to be better and a more advanced analytics. A lot of customers that I'm working with and have worked with in the past have, have been continuously asking the reporting metrics for Copilot can it get better? And it seems like Microsoft is finally taking some large strides towards that direction. So Copilot dashboard users now can dig deeper into how employees are engaging with Copilot, specifically in chat. New prompt categories like ask and find, catch up, draft and brainstorm, other. Again, being able to just get some more granular level information about the way that Copilot is being used across your organization. So productivity insights, adoption and impact analysis, right? So being able to understand, compare not only usage metrics, but also adoption and impact analysis. That's what the Copilot dashboard has always been used for. Again, it seems like now there's going to be some more granular information and breakdown of how specifically the Copilots are being used. Intelligent recap meeting metrics. So I'm sure, one of the things that we all love Copilot and use it for is Microsoft Teams, the ability to summarize meetings. Again, the theme here, following the theme here, we're getting more advanced metrics. Some things like how many meeting hours have been summarized, how many meetings have been summarized, in actions themselves. So not only do you get time, but you also get the actions as well. Meeting summarized or recapped by Copilot, meeting hours. So again, just getting some more granular breakdowns of specific actions that Copilot is taking for you, and how Copilot assisted hours are impacting your business operations. Agent management and cost controls in the M365 Admin Center. So AI administrator is a pretty recently introduced role, right? With the advent of Copilot and agents and whatnot. The AI administrator is a new role that Microsoft introduced to help sort of manage some of the AI specific configurations without necessarily needing to have access to other M365 Certiva. So being able to deploy and block agents, approval of requested agents, and then also managing access levels per agent as well. These are all three things, or these are all things that you are now additionally able to do if you have sufficient permissions within the M365 Admin Center regarding managing your agents. So billing, right? Copilot Chat pay-as-you-go services. If you are leveraging that, then you can manage that within the M365 Admin Center. Billing and usage. So you can also now set budget and spending limits, which is pretty helpful for maintaining costs and overspending. You can also set up email alerts and notifications so that based on defined thresholds, you get alerts and notifications so that you can take or that you have ample time to take any necessary actions if you feel that you're about to cross a limit. Then you can churn that agent off or churn the pay as you or make any necessary actions within the pay as you go service. So Copilot chat versus agents, I put this slide in here because I feel like when I work with a lot of customers, we get a lot of questions about, hey, I've heard a lot of buzz about agents within my organization. I want to introduce it to folks. I want to make sure that we're set up for success in this role. Can you explain a little bit more about what it is? So this might be a helpful reminder for those who already know or pretty familiar with agents and maybe for others who aren't as familiar, this helps answer their question. So Copilot Chat, right? For those of you who have a Copilot license, there are as many Copilots as there are people. It's a one-to-one mapping. It's sort of a personal assistant in that way. It's definitely very useful for summarizing meetings and being able to get over writer's block and start with a draft of something. Very personal productivity use cases in that sense. Then we have agents where you can have a very specific use case and have an agent fulfill a very niche role in that sense of being able to execute certain parts of processes and act on behalf of people. So taking specific actions, updating into databases, reading in information. It can do more than just be a personal assistant, and you can even go all the way up and scale it up to a fully autonomous agent where you have no amount of human intervention being necessary for the agent to serve its specific purpose, right? And so that's where agents are providing value, is you can have more agents than people. And these can really, and once you get to that autonomous level of agents, you can definitely explore a lot of opportunities for cost savings, for efficiency, automation, etc. And so two big agents that Microsoft have released recently are the researcher and the analyst agent. The researcher, it's very, very specific for doing research related tasks, right? If you have tried doing research with just regular Copilot with web enabled, comparing some just from personal experience, comparing results, the researcher agent seems to give you seems to have given me back much more accurate, highly specific results as opposed to Copilot, which may not have necessarily understood some of the context between the research, the articles that it was providing. Sometimes it would hallucinate even, right? So the quality of the results and the method in the way that the agent takes, and when you interact with the agent lists out all the steps that it's doing as well. So super cool to see how the agent thinks and that it's thinking out loud for you to be able to understand and even learn from that as well. And so similarly, analyst is functions like a proficient data scientist. From raw data to insights, it can leverage many different models, obviously none of which we have access to in our sort of closed box from Microsoft side. But yeah, essentially to research sort of based agents that can help you with some specific tasks if you want to do market level research or if you have data that you want some analytics to be performed on. Two great agents that, again, are available out of the box if you go to Copilot. The UI, these agents should be readily available for you if turned on in your tenant. Okay, so next we're going to be talking about the public roadmap. So obviously, lots of things going on always with Copilot and agents. Two things I did want to highlight here, that the Copilot chat module UI refresh. I think something it's definitely one of Microsoft's tendencies to change things, whether it's to rename it or to redesign things, right? They always want to stay very innovative. And that comes along with some change management. Microsoft is really pushing Copilot as the UI for AI. And so we may see a few more refreshes down the line, hopefully not anytime in the near future, but it's important to keep in mind the change management implications that come with these sort of redesigns and these refreshes. It's sometimes it can be sort of sometimes confusing or intimidating, making sure that you yourself as a Copilot user, you stay on top of the latest updates or by joining these meetings, you can come learn and find out what's coming and what's new and what might be able to help you in terms of, hey, this is something I can apply and it'll help me save me an hour a day on this repetitive task that I know I have to do weekly on a weekly basis or something along those lines, right? Next is Copilot extensibility. So being able to manage more Copilot extensibility things in the admin center, DLP policies. My mind is blanking off the top of my head, but obviously, yeah, there's lots of more things coming with extensibility, as I showed. Lots more things with analytics, lots more things with being able to determine success metrics and things of that nature relating to Copilot interactions. So two big things that I wanted to highlight here. Again, the UI refresh and then additional capabilities in the admin center. These are some new items within the last month. These are still in development. Again, a lot of these are user experience related changes that are coming, but none specific that I wanted to. Sorry, I think my headphones might have died there. But yeah, thank you for your support. If you've made it until the end, thank you for joining the session. We'll now be we'll now be jumping into Q&As. So if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Otherwise, you guys are free to, uh, sorry, I have a slide for us to close out, so I want to make sure I don't get to that if we have any questions. We'll give it about another minute for questions, but again, if you need to jump to your next meeting, make sure to save your seat at the next event next month for the August's edition of our Copilot Newsroom. And also, if you have any, Copilot needs, make sure you reach out to us directly, marketing@valoremreply.com. We have experts and SMEs who are happy to, at the very least, have a conversation with you about your problems. So, yeah, if you have any questions, again, we'll stick around for a few more minutes and make sure that we address them. If not, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and thank you for joining again.